coming back from the strike, what I did not realize was that there have been a huge gap between the people that were on strike and the people that were not on strike. So our priority was to make sure that we bring those groups together, align them back to what matters, which is focusing on serving the customers. So that was the priority. If you look at like now 6 months later, what has happened, we have done a survey, an employee survey for MTN South Africa. What that it has picked up is that we have actually improved the morale. You know, people are feeling like more welcome. They feel like we are listening to them. They feel like they've got the right structures to tackle some of the challenges that are facing them. So right now we are on an upward trajectory when it comes to employee morale in South Africa.
The customer satisfaction, as I think was your second element. However, the feeling on the ground and what we notice on the ground about what people say about MTN, the network infrastructure. I remember, I think to date, in a month, there's been 2 network problems, or if not one, network disruptions, and also just a general feeling on the ground that we ask people, you check on social media, the feeling is quite different. People seem to be far more despondent, and they seem that MTN is letting them down. What's your response to that?
Look, I take the feedback from the people, but what we always do is, you know, sometimes we can go on feelings, or we can go and look at the data. What does the data say? You know, go and actually ask people, how do they feel? And they come back. What we have chosen to do, we have chosen to use independent companies to go and do that survey for us, so that there's no bias. And what we are picking up is that on the network quality, given the level of investment that we have made last year of 10.9 billion on the network, in particular starting from the fourth quarter, the quality of our network has been going up. And we're seeing it from those results, and also we're seeing it from the people calling us via the call center, the reduction in the number of people complaining. That's giving us information. However, we have had an incident last week where our charging station was faulty, and that resulted in a number of subscribers, about 20% of our subscribers, experiencing a so-called network problem. But it was not a network, it was a charging station. So we really do apologize to people for that experience, and we have decided that whatever the amount of data that they bought from us during those 2 days, we are going to reimburse them.
Staying with customer satisfaction, what has been your approach with regards to the number of drop calls? Do you have network infrastructure in place to make sure that this is minimized?
Mm-hmm. When I talk about network quality, that is one of the important measurements that we do. Every week, we've got people that are going around, driving in the freeways and looking at the number of dropped calls and making and fine-tuning the network. This, unfortunately, is a function of the lack of spectrum that we don't have in South Africa. This is not a uniquely MTN South Africa problem. It's an industry problem. That is why we've chosen to go and engage with the minister, with ICASA, to make sure that they provide the industry with the much-needed spectrum. And I'm happy to say that ICASA has responded quite positively and have indicated that they are planning to have an auction of the spectrum in 2016. This is something that is going to help the people of South Africa if we go that route.
And just lastly, the issue of the unregistered SIM cards, I know that it is a Nigeria issue. However, I have also heard or seen that people are still able to go out into the black market and get SIM cards that are not only affiliated to MTN but other network providers. Do you have measures in place to make sure that you do not experience the same problem that is seen in Nigeria? We will not see it here.
Yeah. I can tell you we have very, very strict ways of measuring, of monitoring the environment, the RICA environment, to make sure, first of all, it's critical that we comply with the laws of South Africa, and we are. And for example, the last audit that we made, it was in December, we found out there was about 1,500 subscribers that we could not get all of their details. We immediately took them out of the system, and that is the process that we're doing on an ongoing basis, make sure that we are always aligned. Unfortunately, we're operating in an environment where criminals are always trying to be ahead of all of us, so we have to be vigilant, and that's what we do. We're putting processes and systems that help us to minimize or eliminate these kind of practices.